warm welcome to you. Many thanks for finding time to be with us on the program this week. We remain your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Lucille Ube. You are welcome. On our lineup this week, first we join Faith and our guest, Mr. Tope Smart, on the CEO Rendezvous for the exclusive session where they examined how the AIO is navigating uncertainties in the midst of a global pandemic that has crippled the activities of the organization. Speaking during the interview on preparations for the 47th AIO Conference and General Assembly holding in September here in Lagos, Mr. Smart said that they are collaborating with the health authorities to ensure a successful and safe conference. Take a listen.
But we are equally collaborating with the health authorities in Nigeria, to ensure that at least we have a very good program, taking into consideration this health risk. So we are working hard to make sure that we strike a balance, and ensure that at least we protect lives, particularly people that will come physically to attend the conference. It's a major challenge. Number one, two major sources of income for AIO, one membership subscription, and then the second one, income from activities organized by AIO. And because we couldn't organize some of these activities, of course, we don't get that kind of income. So that has been a major challenge too for us.
Okay, sir. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated a number of existing challenges in the insurance sector on the continent. Chief of them is the lack of digitization, with many insurers' operations heavily constrained as a result of the pandemic. Now, the question is there a way the AIO can fast-track existing plans of adoption of digitalization, especially in the insurance sector, when it comes to the entire continent?
We are trying to educate our members. Just like you rightly mentioned, in Africa, insurance companies have been quite slow in embracing technology. But the pandemic actually made it imperative, particularly with the attendant lockdowns all over the place, for companies to embrace technology. As a matter of fact, many of the companies that didn't adopt digitalization, they found it extremely difficult, to operate, particularly during the period of the lockdowns and all of that. So one of the things we are telling all our members and across Africa is for all companies, to digitalize their operations so that they will not be affected. A
lot of people, when you talk about digitalization, when the issue of digitalization comes, one of the things that readily pops up is, it's expensive, it's capital intensive. But as someone in the leadership of the AIO, how do you think that companies on the continent can actually adapt or digitalize their operations without having to be overburdened with the cost of digitalization?
Well, you have to look at it from a number of angles. Number one, if you want to remain relevant, then there is no way you will not go the way of digitalization. So, if you want to remain relevant, you want to continue to service your clients, you want to add value, to all your stakeholders, then you have to digitalize. So, my advice is people should invest in technology. If you don't have the necessary capital, then raise capital. It is capital intensive, just like you mentioned. I agree, but it is the way to go. There is no alternative to technology. I know that so many companies who did not adopt digitalization during, particularly the period of lockdown, they suffered a lot. They lost a lot, And so the way forward is for everybody to just embrace it and say that is the way to go.
Okay, sir. Now let's come back to, I know you mentioned it a little bit. Another key function of the AIO is membership drive. To how has the pandemic affected that? And going forward from the pandemic, what is the leadership looking at, or what aspects are they looking at to also drive membership of the organization?
Well, we are doing a lot at the ESCO level, try to reach out to all our members all over the place and to equally attract new members. Well, the pandemic affected organizations, companies, and all our members too. And so many people, experienced a kind of downturn. Income came down, and so many of them actually struggled to pay their subscription fees. But we try to encourage them that if they are unable to pay, they can spread it, over a period of time to encourage them, so that at least they want to keep them. We don't want difficult times, to push them away from
from the organization.
From AIO. Okay. So we want them, and we are trying to work with them so that we can equally support them in any way, so that at least they will continue to maintain their membership of the AIO, as well as we are equally, trying to attract new members from all over the place to join us.
Okay, sir, let's come to some cherry news. The 47th AIO Conference and General Assembly will, God's willing, hold in Lagos, Nigeria from the 4th to 8th of September. First, because as a result of the pandemic, this was cancelled last year, but I just want to first ask, what led to the decision of the leadership to forge ahead with the conference this year?
Okay, well, this conference was scheduled to hold last year, and then because of the pandemic, it was postponed. Initially, we postponed it to this year, May this year, but because of the cloudy nature of the environment, we decided to equally postpone it to hold now in September. And it's going to be a hybrid model, and we are expecting participants, some participants, to come physically, while others will join us online.
So has the response been so far since the announcement came from the ESCOM?
Oh, people have been excited. Don't forget that people come from all over the place to attend the AI conference. People come from the US, come from UK, the Asian countries, and all of that. People come from all over the place to attend. So the excitement has been quite high. And like I mentioned, people really miss out the issue of the networking, which is the high point of the AIU events. So they're actually looking forward to this conference. Okay,
sir, but you still hear, of course, recently we started hearing about the India variant, fourth wave and all of that. So, but you still find that a lot of people are still very edgy when it comes to traveling, especially from their countries to other places. So my question is, what is the leadership of the AIO doing to ensure that people who are actually eager or interested in coming to attend in person feel safe and secure to leave their comfort zone to come and participate in the conference?
Okay, I think one of the things that has really helped us so far is the issue of the vaccination. So many people have already taken the first dose. A number of people who have equally taken the second. So those ones, they are quite eager, to come and attend the conference. For others who probably have not even, taken their jabs, many of them are very cautious, just like you mentioned. But we are equally collaborating with the health authorities in Nigeria, to ensure that at least we have a very good program, taking into consideration this health risk. So we are working hard to make sure that we strike a balance, and ensure that at least we protect lives, particularly people that will come physically to attend the conference.
Okay, sir, I do know that the AIO as a continental body often have the ears of government, especially the host country of the annual conference and general assembly. So now that the decision is made, I just want to ask, what is the response of the Nigerian government so far, as well as the host markets and other member countries?
Okay, all the stakeholders are actually working hard. We are working with the government. Don't forget that we have the local organizing committee, and they are working very, very hard, and equally collaborating with all the various other stakeholders.